your biggest learning that you've had since you've been a business owner?
So many, so many, Jonathan. But look, yeah, well, exactly. I think I would say that think like the client. So what do they want or need? And the key to getting this answer is simply to ask. So if I can share an analogy, when you look at a photo, say a family photo, as a general rule, who's the first person you look for? And it's generally yourself, right? The point is, if you're looking for yourself, then I can tell you your client is looking at things from their own perspective as well. It's not about you. It's all about them. Right? So one of the comments that I make is that when you start to think about somebody that is meaningful to you, is it because they're interesting or is it because they're interested? Right. And I know now I have several people that have impacted my life, and each of them were because they were interested in me, not necessarily because they were interesting. And that's a key characteristic of or trait of leaders, that they don't spend their time talking about themselves and say walk into a room and think about, how do I get that guy's business over there or otherwise? They just become deeply interested and they think about the other person and how can I add value to your life? And there are three words that to me rank as highly as the words I love you, right? And they are, tell me more. So whenever we're in a conversation, the more you can use those three words, tell me more, it's all about remaining curious about others whilst also being engaged with the things that they're telling you. And you come from a space of gratitude and you say, I wonder why that may have happened. And you imagine if you take the learnings from this and you use it to help yourself and other people, so for me, it's, when I think about it, when people are managing their money, they almost never seek the highest possible yield. What they're seeking from money in general is not how many notes they can stack in a pile, but how do those notes make them feel? What stories do they tell themselves and do they tell their family? Right. So if we can, in our case, if I can make somebody who was afraid less afraid, and if I can make somebody that was selfish into somebody that's more generous, and if I can make someone who was disconnected into someone who's more connected, then I feel that I've done a good day's job. And I often say that, just going back to the concept of AI, that I don't think my brain is any smarter today than when I finished school. But what has grown is the size of my mind. And the more I remain curious and include the thinking and experiences of other people, the wiser I become. Because my mind is essentially an accumulation of all that wisdom that we have in life. And so things like your podcast, I mean, there's so much wisdom in there that if people took the time, there's so many learnings that you could, honestly, on those alone, you could create a business